In a historic and unprecedented political development, Belgium has officially recognized Palestine as a sovereign state and simultaneously announced sweeping sanctions on Israel. This decision, which was confirmed by Belgium's Ministry of Foreign Affairs earlier today, marks a significant turning point in European diplomacy and has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power in Brussels, Tel Aviv, Washington, and across the wider Middle East. The Belgian government stated that its recognition of Palestine comes after years of stalled peace negotiations, ongoing settlement expansions, and a worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the West Bank. According to Belgian officials, the decision was made to uphold international law, reinforce the principle of self-determination, and to push forward the idea of a two-state solution that has long been advocated but rarely acted upon in concrete terms. Prime Minister Alexander De Croo, addressing the Belgian parliament, declared, "Today, Belgium stands on the right side of history. We can no longer remain silent while international law is continuously violated and millions of Palestinians are denied their right to freedom and statehood." Belgium's recognition of Palestine as an independent and sovereign nation is both a moral and political duty. This recognition means Belgium has formally established diplomatic relations with the Palestinian Authority, including the opening of a Palestinian embassy in Brussels. Belgium is also calling on other European Union countries to follow suit, arguing that recognition of Palestine could shift the balance of diplomacy and bring a new sense of urgency to resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. However, it was not just recognition that caught international attention. Belgium also announced a new set of sanctions against Israel, which include restrictions on arms trade, freezing of assets of Israeli companies linked to settlement construction, and limitations on Israeli officials traveling to Belgium and potentially to other EU states if the Union adopts similar measures. The Belgian sanctions package also includes halting cooperation agreements with Israeli institutions involved in settlement activity in the West Bank. Belgium's Foreign Minister Haja Labib stated, "The expansion of illegal settlements has destroyed the credibility of negotiations and has made the possibility of peace more distant than ever. By imposing sanctions, we are sending a clear message: there will be consequences for continued violations of international law." The reaction from Israel was swift and harsh. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned Belgium's move, calling it a dangerous betrayal that undermines peace efforts. Netanyahu further stated, "Recognition of a Palestinian state at a time when terrorism and incitement against Israel continue is a direct reward for violence." Belgium has chosen to side with those who seek to destroy the state of Israel. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has recalled its ambassador from Brussels for urgent consultations and hinted that diplomatic ties between the two nations could be downgraded. Israeli officials have also warned that Belgian companies operating in Israel could face retaliatory measures. The United States also expressed deep concern over Belgium's decision. The U.S. State Department spokesperson emphasized Washington's long-standing position that Palestinian statehood should come only through direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians, not through unilateral recognition. Analysts say the U.S. is likely to pressure other European nations not to follow Belgium's lead, fearing it could isolate Israel on the global stage and complicate Washington's own diplomatic efforts in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Palestinian leadership welcomed Belgium's recognition with open arms. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas issued a statement calling Belgium's decision a historic milestone in the Palestinian struggle for independence and dignity. Abbas added, "The people of Palestine will never forget Belgium's courage to stand for justice, even in the face of immense pressure. This recognition strengthens our resolve to continue working towards freedom and peace." Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank took to the streets in celebration, waving Belgian flags alongside Palestinian ones. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of gratitude towards Belgium, with hashtags such as #ThankYouBelgium and #PalestineRecognized trending globally. Experts argue that this recognition could trigger a domino effect across Europe. Countries such as Spain, Ireland, and Norway have already expressed support for Palestinian statehood, and Belgium's formal recognition may encourage them to take the next step. If multiple EU countries recognize Palestine, it would create immense diplomatic pressure on Israel and could even push the European Union as a whole to reconsider its stance on the conflict. On the other hand, critics argue that Belgium's decision may polarize the situation further. Some analysts believe that sanctions against Israel could harden Tel Aviv's position and fuel more hostility instead of encouraging dialogue. Israel has already indicated that it may respond by intensifying settlement activities or by reducing cooperation with European countries. In the broader Middle East, Belgium's decision is being closely monitored. Iran, Turkey, and Qatar have praised the recognition, viewing it as a move that could shift global opinion in favor of Palestinian statehood. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan have cautiously welcomed the development, while also urging renewed peace talks under international supervision. The timing of Belgium's announcement is also significant. With the war in Gaza escalating in recent months and humanitarian agencies warning of catastrophic conditions, Belgium's recognition highlights the urgency of international intervention. Belgium has pledged additional humanitarian aid to Palestinian refugees and has called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Human rights groups have applauded Belgium's move, saying it restores moral accountability in a situation where global powers have often turned a blind eye. Amnesty International released a statement declaring that Belgium has set an example of courage that must be followed by others. Economically, Belgium's sanctions on Israel could have ripple effects. Belgian companies involved in technology, pharmaceuticals, and diamond trading may face challenges due to restrictions on Israeli counterparts. However, Belgium insists that ethical responsibility outweighs economic interests in this case. Looking ahead, the recognition of Palestine by Belgium could become a turning point in the decades-long Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Whether it leads to peace or escalates tensions remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Belgium has disrupted the status quo and has forced the international community to confront the issue once again. For now, the world watches as Israel recalibrates its diplomatic strategies, Palestinians celebrate a rare victory, and other nations weigh the risks and rewards of following Belgium's bold move. This recognition may not end the conflict overnight, but it has already reshaped the political landscape, introducing a new chapter in the long and turbulent history of the Middle East.